So, a lot of companies have AI policies, right? But let's be honest, a lot of the time they're just documents. Today, we're going to get practical. We're going to break down how you turn those rules on paper into real-world, everyday actions. In other words, we're talking about operationalizing your AI governance.
And just so you know where this is all coming from, the framework for this explainer is drawn directly from Chapter 6 of the Tutorial on Developing an AI Governance Program by Virtualization Options LLC. It's all about putting these crucial processes into practice.
Okay, so you've done the hard work, you've got your principles, you've written down all the rules, but now what? If they're just sitting in a shared drive somewhere, they're not really doing anything, are they? The real challenge, the one we're tackling right now, is how do you actually operationalize them? How do you build the machinery that makes those rules a part of how everyone works day in and day out? I love this slide because it gets right to the heart of it. Think of it like this. Your policy is the rule book. It tells you the what and the why, the basic principles of the game. But a rule book doesn't tell you how to win. For that, you need a playbook, and that's your process. The playbook gives your teams the actual actionable steps, the how and the when, so they know exactly what to do. It's the bridge that gets you from good intentions to great execution. So here's the journey we're going on today. We're going to walk through the whole AI lifecycle, looking at 4 critical playbooks. We'll start at the very beginning with the AI Initiative Gateway, then dive into the governed development lifecycle. After that, we'll talk about what happens when AI is live, and we'll wrap up by tackling the tricky world of third-party AI. All right, first stop, the AI Initiative Gateway. You can think of this as the single front door for any and every AI project. Why is this so important? Well, its main job is to stop what's called shadow AI. You know what I mean, those projects that just kind of appear out of nowhere with zero oversight. They're a huge risk for security, for privacy, for everything, and they completely sidestep all the governance you've worked so hard to create. The whole point here is to get visibility and control from the absolute beginning. We're talking before a single line of code gets written, before any data is even touched. The idea has to come through that front door, get registered, and be properly risk assessed. No backdoors, no exceptions. Period. So what does this front door process actually look like? Well, it's a pretty clear 6-step journey. First, someone submits a formal proposal. That goes to the governance team for an initial screening. If it looks like it has any real risk, that triggers a much more detailed assessment. From there, all the key stakeholders get to review the findings. A formal go or no-go decision is made, and, this is key, everything gets documented. It's all about being systematic, not making decisions on a whim. Okay, so a project gets the green light. Awesome. But governance doesn't just stop at the front door, not even close. Now it has to be woven right into the fabric of how the thing actually gets built. And this is what's so crucial to understand. Governance isn't some final exam you have to pass right before you go live. No way. It's a series of checkpoints. You can call them quality gates at every single stage of development. You're thinking about fairness when you're writing the requirements. You're testing for bias while you're building the model. And yeah, there's a final review before deployment. It makes responsibilities something that's built in from the start, not just bolted on at the end as an afterthought. All right. Fast forward, the system is built, it's deployed, it's live. But the work is far from over. Honestly, this is where things can get really complicated. So how do you manage an AI system that's out there, operating in the real world? When an AI is live, its life really boils down to 2 things. You've got your planned changes, the proactive stuff like updates, bug fixes, performance tweaks, and then you've got your unplanned incidents, the moments when things just go wrong. You absolutely need a playbook for both scenarios. So for the planned stuff, a tiered approach is the smartest way to go. It's all about matching the level of oversight to the level of risk. A tiny bug fix that doesn't change anything, the local team can approve that, no problem. But what if you're making a major change that really alters how the model behaves? Well, that needs to be treated just like a brand new system, with a full-blown governance assessment. It's the only way to make sure something risky doesn't slip through the cracks. So that takes care of the changes you plan for. But what about when things go wrong out of the blue? What do you do when your model starts spitting out completely bizarre results? Or worse, a security flaw is found? That's when you'd better have a rock-solid incident response plan ready to go. A really solid response plan follows these 7 steps. You detect it, you assess it, you contain it to stop the bleeding. But honestly, the most important step here is the last one, lessons learned. It's not enough to just fix the immediate problem. The real goal is to do a deep dive, a postmortem, find the root cause, and then, critically, feed that knowledge back into your other processes so this exact same thing doesn't happen again. Okay, last big topic. Let's talk about the AI that you don't build yourself. Because let's face it, more and more companies are buying AI tools and services from vendors instead of building them from scratch. And that introduces a whole new world of risk that needs its own dedicated playbook. Look, before you even think about signing a contract with a vendor, you have to do some serious homework. This is non-negotiable. You need to grill them on their practices just as hard as you would grill your own teams. Ask them, how do you test for bias? What are your data security standards? Can you actually explain to me how this model works? If they can't give you clear, confident answers, that is a massive red flag. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're the one who's responsible for the AI you put out into the world.
And even if you love their answers, that's not enough. You have to get it all in writing. Your governance requirements need to be baked right into the legal contract. This isn't just some administrative checkbox. This is your enforcement mechanism. You need the right to audit them, clear performance and fairness standards they have to meet, and very clear consequences for what happens if they don't.
So when you pull it all together, what have we seen? Having good intentions, having a well-written policy, that's a great start, but it's just not enough. It's the well-designed, repeatable processes, the playbooks, that are the essential bridge connecting those good intentions to actual responsible outcomes in the real world.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Your AI is live right now. It's out there making decisions, it's interacting with your customers, it's changing all the time. So the real question is your organization truly ready for what happens next? Do you have the playbooks in place?